YouTube, Rumble family, what's good? What's happening? We are in the house. We are in the house. We're live. Ironwork 92,000 at your service. Here to provide you what you need. What's good? What's happening? Ooh, look at that. Man, it's people are starting to come in, huh? Oh wow, crazy. Hey, oh man. All right, people are in. I was just being facetious because I ain't see nobody coming. But look at that. Hey, Shannon Emerson's in the house. Greetings, Shannon Emerson. Shannon Emerson. What's good? It is good to see you. Ark Ash, I believe you're in here too. Shannon Emerson. I guess it's just me and you. Looks like we get to play ping pong together, right? Back and forth, back and forth. Anyway, family, I've got something star studded lined up for you, not as far as people, but as far as content is concerned for today. There's some discoveries that I came about that maybe you guys can help me figure out. That rhymes, by the way. And we can all piece this dang puzzle together because right now I'm at a place to where it is, I'm at a place to where I'm stuck, right? I love looking at maps. I love looking at maps, especially the old stuff. But when it comes to the Gleason map, I've been finding some anomalies when we compare it to what Urbano Monte has, as well as what we have Mercator wise. So I'm hoping that we can come to some kind of agreement, some kind of understanding as to what it is we're looking at today with these maps, especially the Gleason, the Urbano Monte, as well as some Mercator ishness when it comes to these maps. And we're also going to look at what ArcGIS has, or ArcGIS, Google Earth. They're kind of synonymous. They're almost the same, right? But they offer what the globe is looking at. Half Warrior, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you, man. It's very good to see you, man. You guys are like my backbone over here. And it's always a pleasure every week, every Friday, right? Every Friday, every Tuesday to see you guys. Now, with True Earth Tuesday being here, now it's like double a reason to get to see you guys and enjoy y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully, you guys have been having a good week up to this point. Actually, the week just pretty much started, but since I saw you guys last week, Friday, hopefully everything was good. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend and all that good stuff happening. You know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? So yeah, it's good to see people starting to stream on in here. Um, Jimmy Satterfield, hell yeah, yeah, buddy. It's always good to see you, Jimmy Satterfield. Yeah, and let me put half Warriors name in there too. It's like I'm playing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Romper Room and Zoobly Zoo and stuff with Miss Molly and Jimmy and Shannon and Half Warrior and Vladimir. Remember that? Romper Room and Zoobly Zoo taking us back. That used to be the good stuff back in the day. So hopefully, the normal cast and crew comes. Megadeth, 777, um, Nano CBD, Erica. Hopefully, we get my special guest, Ghost of Judah Tribe in here. That would be amazing, you know. And every once in a while, it's like an episode of Scooby Doo when we come here. Lately, we've been getting like the star-studded cast. So last week we had John Thor come in here, which was amazing. Make sure you sub to his channel, by the way. And also, by the way, make sure you sub to the Ghost of Judah Tribes channel. These guys have amazing content. And if you don't just like Flat Earth and just that, you can also deal with football, NFL, the Chicago Bears. That's also the Ghost of Judah Tribes bread and butter too. But it's almost like watching an episode of Scooby Doo where you got these dudes coming in and then they just make that cameo appearance and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's tight. I like that's one of the things I like doing about this Truer Tuesday, and that's one of the things that this channel affords us. You know what I'm saying? We get these bodies that'll drop in once in a while, bless the channel, bless the show, say what's up, and we get to just kind of chop it up with them. Truth shall set you free. What's good, bro? What's happening, bro? It's good to see you, man. Yeah. Half warrior, man. Hey, that's real. I put some intent and I put some thought and willpower on your behalf, man, and I'm sending healing your way, half warrior. So you guys, I'm not trying to bring too much attention to your plight, half warrior, to your situation or nothing, but send love, send some intent, send some good vibes towards half warriors. Send some intent, truth, uh, good vibes towards our brother, the half warrior. All right, love and intent his way. Send it his way of healing and love and joy and everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm sending that to everybody, but I'm going to send that focused energy towards you, half warrior. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, allow a call in. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm not even going to lie. Let me see. Copy. I'm going to go ahead. Truth shall set you free, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop this in there. Let's see if you guys see that. If you see that, that'll probably be your invite to come on in and join the show. You know what I'm saying? So, but before we do that, there are a couple of things I wanted to kind of go over. I don't want anyone's time wasted. Yeah, we could chop it up a bit. Don't want to waste you guys' time. I want to give you guys something that you can go home with, right? Or actually get off the stream with later on tonight. And we can kind of discuss. Give me 1 second. King of Houston. King of Houston. Give me 1 second, brother. So, just to kind of kick things off, you know, I've got my parents, and I'm a lucky individual to have both my parents in my life still. My mom and my dad. Love them very much. Very wise people. They've helped me out throughout my entire life. That's the job of a parent for the most part, right? And as of late, you know, since I've retired, I retired back in 2022, but since I've retired, it's afforded me the opportunity to spend more time with my family, spend more time with my parents and those that I love that I didn't have the opportunity to spend as much time with while I was enlisted. Now, with that being said, I did mention my parents. Yes, my parents are getting old. They live in New York, right? They live in Long Island. So I get to visit Long Island every weekend. I'm not gonna lie, you know, my mom could be a little bit much, right? Mothers could do that, you know. My mom is always checking on me and everything else, and it drives it makes me feel some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Ark Ash, what's up, brother? It's good to see you. It makes me feel some kind of way. And I'm like, hey, mom, dang, I'm good, mom. I'm good. Trust me, I'm okay. But at the end of the day, I have to understand that this is how a mother is. Dads are not so much that way. You know, my dad, he's got a little bit of dementia, not too much, just a little bit. But he's never been one to want to talk on the phone or anything like that. I understand that. The point I'm getting to is, guys, is that yes, I'm kind of joking around with how my parents treat me and everything else like that. And I love them very much. But one thing I want to get through to you guys, if you guys have been as lucky as I have been to have my parents in my life, listen, do not, do not always remember that their time here, our time here, all of our time here, nobody here is special. It's limited. It is limited. So your parents being here, your parents offering advice, your parents giving you as much love as they're giving you, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. Me, I'm 45 years old, everything else like that. King of Houston, give me a second, bro. I'm 45 years old, and I'm lucky to still have them. And I want to have another 45 years with them, right? As many years as I possibly can, right? At the same time, with knowing that we have limited time with them, take advantage. Take advantage of the time that you can have with them. Don't take their time for granted. And the reason I'm saying that is right now, I've got this book, right? I've got this book. This thing looks old as hell, and it is old as hell. It's from 1829. This book is The Adventures of Horatio Hornblower. Just kidding. You can see that. Hopefully it's not backwards. These are the voyages, the three voyages of Captain Cook. And so the reason I'm tying this into me and having time with my parents is because, hold on, brother, is because we're going to add our first guest, King of Houston.
What's going on, man?
What it is, bro.
AK True shall set you free.
What we got? I can't hear you, bro.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
You're not muted or anything.
Can you hear me? Oh shit! Hold on. Hey, you can't hear me? Hold on.
Can't hear you.
Let me try to come.
Let's fix that connection. So is because these books, they can take you as far as they take you, right? It's super limited in scope, but it leaves you to think. Your parents, right? Folks like your parents, folks like your grandparents, for whatever reason, I hear Houston. Hello, Houston. Let me try you again.
All right, can you hear me now?
They can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Weird. Let me try. Why can't I hear you? Edit mic settings.
Can y'all hear me in the comments? Can you hear me?
All right, so your mic isn't muted. I don't know
All right,
why
it's not muted. Yeah,
like this.
yeah, it's not muted. Can you hear me now?
Oh, this is terrible.
Can you hear me now?
It's all right. We're gonna press on. Houston, I cannot hear you, brother.
All right,
But
I'm gonna get on my computer. I'm gonna get on my computer by my laptop.
This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn this off, and maybe you guys can hear me then.
All right. All right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, I can.
Perfect. All right.
Oh,
you got to
hey man, I wanted to. I was gonna sign on my computer if it was gonna be easier for you. Maybe you'd hear me better.
That's all right. We can rock with it. We can lean with it
Right.
and rock with it. We can make this happen right now.
All
let
right.
me finish up my thought and then we'll press. But it's good to have you. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Thank you.
All right. So, Shannon, does this sound better? Hopefully, I sound better. Do I sound like I'm underwater still? Do I sound muffled?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. All right. So let's.
I mean, if you have the volume turned down, you sound like you're underwater. But if you turn the volume up, I can hear you perfect.
We sound better? Okay. So there he is. There he is. You there? All right. Better.
Hey.
So yeah.
No, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
So I mean, the books give you but so much, but the thing is that they are limited in scope unless they leave you with some open-ended questions, which I guess you could say it does, but this is something that happened. This isn't a book on thought necessarily. This is an occurrence in time in history. Your parents allow for you to, they they not only give you history, but it gives you history based off of their perspective, right? It gives you history based off of how they viewed things, right? For example, just going to get a little bit brief in it. I'm not going to dwell on it. But my parents came up in the no, my parents are originally from Haiti. They came up in the United States during the Civil Rights era, right? And so, of course, they came up in the Northeast in New York, not necessarily, and not in the South, where it was totally different. But the lens of how they saw America, the lens of how they saw the world during that time is totally different compared to someone that isn't from a foreign country or that isn't Black. And I hope that makes sense. And these are bits of history that if you have to sit down and you have to converse with those that have gone before you. Turn echo cancellation on. Let's see. Recording audio. Default. Reduce mic background noise. Hold on. How about now? Does this sound better? All right, adjust my volume. How about now? Does this sound better?
Oh, it sounds better to me.
All right. All right. Arcash, I went ahead and I did that. Thank you. How about now? Does it still sound quiet?
I can hear you fine.
All right. Dang, I hope the guys don't have a hard time listening to me. But so let me go ahead and just finish up that thought. So I
No.
was thinking about that because my parents are old. They did their will and everything else, and we discussed it amongst the family, the immediate family. All right, awesome. Thank you, half word. We discussed it amongst the immediate family, and I'm like, yo, am I the only one thinking about all this knowledge, right? That over 80 years of information that these guys have, and how much have I asked? Have I asked the right questions? Have I asked enough questions? Because here's the thing, right? we're trying to we're in a time where people are trying to figure a lot out in a small space of time, and I
Facts.
commend everybody's efforts. You know what I'm saying? I commend everybody's efforts for trying to make it all happen. Yes, but it's almost as if we're running a fool's errand because of the amount of information that we're trying to ingest within a small period of time. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm excited about the true earth as well, right? Like anybody else. But there's so much information out there. Number one, who's to say it's the truth? Number two, who's to say any of it is correct? Not as if anybody's trying to lie, but if it's correct. And
Facts.
number three, how much information are we missing because it's being hidden from us? So it brings me back to where I'm talking about not only appreciate those that have come before you, but we need to seriously ask these questions because because the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. We don't know when these people will be around, right? Thank God we got guys like David Weiss. David Weiss is in his 60s and stuff like that. He's still relatively young, but he's seen a little bit more than us. This is generally, I'm going to assume that generally we're a pretty young crowd, us. And so we have to take advantage of what did the old folks see? What did the old folks read? I'm under the guys that folks back in the day read a little bit more. They read more books, whereas us, even though we have a little bit more information at our fingertips, we're not reading books as much as we used to, say, 30, 40, 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
books were the way that you got information. Hell, if you wanted to see, where the local pizza shop was, you didn't get on Google, right? You went and where? The yellow pages. Who we got? Is somebody calling? What's going on? Is that me or is that you?
Y'all hear that?
I heard that. So you would look at the yellow pages, right? Let's change this right here. There we go. Even better. So we look at the yellow pages, we get that information. If you had to do a project, everybody talks about the encyclopedia, right? The Encyclopedia Britannica, Americana, doesn't matter. But you go in the encyclopedia and you get the information that you need. Reading would force that. And here's the thing: is while you read through the encyclopedia, you're leafing and you're picking up small bits of information that you otherwise never would have read about. You otherwise never would have been looking at. So this is why you have to. You need to talk with the old folks. I know. And I know it's easier said than done because sometimes they can either be grouchy or sometimes they could go and run off on a rant, right? Sometimes, kind of like I do sometimes. But this is some very useful bits of information that maybe during another time you may have thought it's just talk, but later on you're going to need information like this because this is something that you could refer to. So let's see. Oh, I think we lost King of Houston. I think we lost him for a little bit. It's all right. How many people got into your local library and gets, Shannon Emerson, that's a good point. So there is a I haven't gotten with my new local library to press on them. But everywhere I've lived, I've been part of a local library, and I would take my daughter with me, and we would go. Dirk Vaughn, you funny. And we would go. We'd get books every weekend. So I still read. I have my own library, but it's always good to see what's at the local library as well. And it would also do you guys a service, family, to check out your local library for the old books. Um, I've got a 1958 Encyclopedia Americana, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Encyclopedia Americana and its contents on page 14. Not at my house right now, but we know what it talks about, what it says when it talks about the dome, right? The dome structure at 30,000 feet on those specific latitudes and stuff. So um, just that alone, that's what I'm talking about, right? So it's either you're getting the information from these people that have gone before you, or you're going in the books. And the thing is people are quickly getting rid of these books. This thing cost me a pretty penny. This cost me a lot of money, but there's a reason. I don't have a problem spending a little bit of money on a good book, but and I definitely don't have a problem spending a little bit of money on a historical reference because there's a reason why they're trying to keep information like that from you. So let's get into the chat right here. So, yeah, I know, I had issues with the volume and everything, but bear with me, family. So, how many people go to a local library? And we mentioned that already. Um, That's a good question. That's a good question. We need to start going to our local libraries because that's our taxpayer dollars, right? And there's some good stuff in there. Yeah, I got a 4K cam. Even though it may not look like 4K, it is a 4K cam. I can assure you that. Yes, and thank you, Dirk von Franz. Using discernment every day seems to be a daily thing for me concerning all the info out there. Yes, yes, it's hard. There's a lot of what's that dissonance, information dissonance. I think it is cognitive dissonance with all the information that we're getting at one time. But yes, you have to discern what's good and what's bad. Remove the bad, keep the good. But also going to your references, and every once in a while, you're going to have to fork over that cash and get a good book. You know what I'm saying? Get you a good book and hold on to it. And I'm going to get a little bit further into that. Nano CBD, good brother. It's all right, man. It's good to have you. It's good to have you. I brought you up. It's always good to have you. And yeah, Dirk von Franz, you are all right. Yeah, and so these are good things. These are definitely good things to have. So I wanted to touch on something that I came across in one of my email feeds, right? So who here has heard of Rust on the Moon? Just drop a one in the chat. I should see a few ones in there. Rust on, or yeah, Rust on the Moon. Who here has seen that? Let's go ahead and drop a one in the chat. You've seen Rust on the Moon, or heard recently of Rust on the Moon. All right. When everybody move at once, I mean, So Dirk von Franz, yeah, Rust on the Moon, yeah, yep. I saw that a few days ago, and I didn't really. Yeah. So all right. So Nano, we're going to kind of touch on that. I didn't really give it much thought, but there was a clip that I saw on YouTube, and it pointed me in a particular direction, and I'm going to take you to that direction here. But let me go ahead and share what it is I've got. Share screen. Let's see what we got. So this is from CNN, and it talks about The Earth is making the moon rust, right? And this was back in 2020, they're saying this. It says the moon is getting rusty. Scientists had the same reaction you probably did when they reached the conclusion. It shouldn't be possible. After all, there's no oxygen on the moon, one of the two essential elements to create rust, the other one being water. So I find that funny. They say there's no oxygen on the moon, but one of the elements that are necessary to create rust and the other one being water. Well, part of water, right? You've got 2 parts hydrogen, and then you've got the last part is water. So what the hell? I don't know who writes this stuff, but the evidence was there. India's lunar probe, Chandrayaan-1, orbited the moon in 2008, gathering the data that has led to numerous discoveries over the years, including the revelation that there are water molecules on its surface. Cool. The probe also, and here's the thing, I'm just reading this even though we know they're full of shit and they can't go to the moon anyway. I'm just reading it for us to actually just get some perspective as to why they claim that the moon is red and rusty. Okay? But rust is produced when iron is exposed to oxygen and water. At first, totally okay, cool. So we've come to the conclusion that yes, there is a red tinge, or they're claiming that there's a red tinge on the moon. And this is something that many of us can spot, right? A red tinge on the moon. And they're calling it, oh, here's another thing. Oh, Lord have mercy. So dust particles on the moon's surface might float off to the ground. Now, here's the thing, is that they're claiming that there is rust on the moon, and they're calling it hematite dust. Hematite dust. Now, for all of our Latin speakers and all of our guys that have taken Latin or understand some of those Latin words, right? Hemo. You guys are familiar with it, right? Has anyone ever smelt rust or dust? Has anyone done any sanding work on a metal object, bringing it down to the bare metal, right? Before priming it and stuff like that? What does it smell like? It smells rusty. I'm sure if you guys have ever been around, a slaughterhouse, or if you've dealt with, yeah, rust does smell, and you could taste it too. It tastes like pennies if it gets in your nose. It tastes like pennies. It tastes like copper, but it's iron, oxidized iron. But anyway, a lot of times you can smell in the air blood, right? If you're in a slaughterhouse, or if unfortunately you might be in a particular place and you smell a lot of blood, that's a bad thing. But you could still smell, so much so that you can taste the blood in the air, right? It's got that metallic-y, like a bunch of pennies, like a bunch of pennies. So nano CBD, you said. Lots of space news lately. Yesterday, Google is searches for fire through the roof. Yeah, that's right. So yes, rust does stink. And I'm mentioning that because, let me stop that screen right now. I'm mentioning that because I wanted to show you this and why I think this is important and what it may lead into. Share. Right there. So it says right there, right? Revelations, what's going to happen with the sun and the moon during the last days. Oh boy, that's not it. No. Revelations on not the sun and the moon, but rather the moon. Revelation 6:12. So all of them basically say the same thing. Let's look at the top one. And I beheld when he had opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair. So the sun just went black, and the moon became as blood. I think this is relevant, and I think this is important because you guys, here in the next 3 months, do you guys know what's going to happen at the beginning or at the early part in the next 3 months? What's going to happen? Or rather, not the next 3, but rather the next 2. And yeah, I think it is in the book of Joel. I'll check on that here in a little bit, Urbano Farms. But on the 8th of April, we're supposed to get an eclipse exactly. April 8th, Jimmy Satterfield, you're right on the money. We are supposed to be having an eclipse. So let's go back to where it says that. There was a great earthquake, and the sun became black, and the moon became as blood. So now I'm wondering, does this mean that I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen? So does this mean that the moon now becomes the moon, or rather this rust on the moon, is that like a portent for things to come? And this is just throwing me off totally. You know what I'm saying? I've seen guys come out in recent news saying, "Hey, do not come outside for the eclipse, solar eclipse coming on the 8th of April." I'm like, why the hell not? Who wouldn't want to come out for the eclipse? You know, guys in Ohio, guys in Michigan saying, "Do not be driving during the eclipse," you know, for whatever reason. I didn't read those. That's my fault. But this is stuff that you can check it out. You'll be able to see it. Matter of fact, after this live tonight, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop that in the description box. I'm going to go ahead and drop that. But these are things that it also refers to what I was talking about earlier. These are things, right, that Revelation is saying this is what's coming down the pipe. But eclipses are things that tend to happen on a scheduled basis. These are things that we tend to predict. And it goes back to what I was saying. Why we need to talk with the old folks, why we need to shell out the money to keep these things. Because there's a lot of good information that's being hidden from us. And I think it's to our detriment, because it's like I think we're here, and in our own little way, we're remaking the wheel. Doing these True Earth Tuesdays, Flat Earth Fridays, and the like, we're on a fact-finding mission, right? We're not sitting here just BSing. We're actually looking for the truth. We're looking for a truth, right? As to what this world consists of, who we are, what we come from, what's all this about. It's all a fact-finding mission, right? I think we're doing it's not, I know I said a fool's errand, but we're doing some serious heavy lifting when we're actually changing our minds to go away from what we were originally taught and to find the answers to what we know is very possibly the truth. And so, yes, so right here, oh, so you've got I didn't get the latest Farmer's Almanac, but folks, before I get into what Miss Emerson says, if you want to get a Farmer's Almanac, go to a Harbor Freight store. Harbor Freights always have them. Home Depot may have them, but typically Harbor Freight typically holds your Farmer's Almanac. But your Farmer's Almanac says great solar eclipse is April 8, 2024. Says which cities and times and durations. So grab a Farmer's Almanac. Has a ton of moon info. On the money, Shannon Emerson. She is right. She's spot on the money. Like I said, you could go to your local Harbor Freight. They always have them at the front counter. And yes, get one. These things are right on the money. So what I want to do is I want to show you a clip by Terry Eicher. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with Flat Out Truth. He's got one of the best channels around, True Earth channels, definitely for sure. Check him out. So I'm going to play one of his latest videos. Terry Eicher, everybody. And I'm going to show you guys what I found, and we're going to have to discuss it. Okay. All right. So here we go. We're going to do a little bit of Terry Eicher right now. No, not video file. Jeez. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and check this out.
All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more. It's time for the Longines Chronoscope, a television journal of the important issues of the hour, brought to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. A presentation of the Longines Whitnor Watch Company, maker of Longines, the world's most honored watch, and Whitnor, distinguished companion to the world-honored Longines. Good evening. This is Frank Knight. Our very distinguished guest for this evening is Admiral Richard E. Byrd.
I must say that Admiral Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans. Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Admiral Byrd, may I ask you, is there a great difference between the top of the world and the bottom of the world?
There is. Now, the North Pole is the center of an ocean 10,000 feet deep. The South Pole, the center of a plateau 10,000 feet high. The North Polar Sea is surrounded by continents that are slightly frozen. The Antarctic continent is surrounded by a belt of ice, frozen seas of at least 1,200 miles thick. Now, the South is a plateau. It gets, in some places, 14,000 feet up. I've been over areas about 13,000, and it's a little bit chilly up there.
Well, thank you very much, Admiral Byrd. It's been a great pleasure to have you here tonight.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
The opinions expressed on the Longines Chronoscope were those of the speakers. The editorial board for this edition of the Longines Chronoscope was Larry Lasser and Kenneth Crawford. Our distinguished guest was Admiral Richard E. Byrd.
On this expedition, we hope to fly across the South Pole into the mysterious land beyond to see what is there. To the cameramen who made this picture, I want to give full credit. They did not hesitate to risk their lives at their job. Now, the North Pole is the center of a deep ocean, whereas the South Pole is the center of a high plateau which averages 7,000 or 8,000 feet in altitude. There is no life whatever beyond the edge of the world. It is cold and silent and dead. There are no Eskimos. It is too cold for human beings to live there.
So, sorry for stopping that there, but 7,000 to 8,000 feet in altitude. The Arctic Shelf, could that be the Arctic Shelf? Let's continue.
Permanently. When we left on this expedition, we were, to put it very mildly, extremely anxious to find out if it still existed, would we be able to find it? And that was the great question. We left on this expedition from the Navy Yard at Boston. Here is our supply ship, the Rupert, just a big unprotected iron ship of 8,000 tons. Here is our icebreaker, the Bear, which we took as a protection for the personnel of the Rupert, and also to use exploring in dangerous ice areas. We took with us this time 150 Eskimo dogs and more than 14,000 different kinds of items for 2 years away from civilization, where there were no supply depots around the corner. Day followed day, week followed week, as we penetrated the great Pacific. And here we have an ordinary unprotected iron ship, sailing in seas no ship had ever been in before since the world began. It wasn't that we were any better than our predecessors. We simply had a more open ice here. We bucked the ice until we were finally stopped by an impossible pack. Impossible, at least, for the Rupert. But we wanted to see what was beyond the horizon.
Now, if no one's ever been there since the beginning of time, I find that funny that Captain Cook would have circumnavigated the entire Earth, like over and over and over, saying that it was just a complete barrier of ice that they couldn't penetrate. mountains, one on top of the other, 12,000 feet. And this is what I'm talking about. How? Let's continue.
That's what we came for. And for that purpose, we had another string to our bow, aviation. We retreated a few miles and managed to find an open lake in the ice field. So we proceeded to put the plane overboard. We had to execute this maneuver as rapidly as possible because we knew that under the influence of the wind and the tide, the fields would soon close in around the ship again. In fact, the ice is already beginning to close in. Our plan was to go south with our steamer until we were stopped by ice, and to take up the attack on the unknown with aviation. And now at last we're going to find out what was in the southern part of this mysterious part of the world. For after battling the bad weather, here we are 240 miles within it.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in the description box. But so he's down here in the Antarctic Circle, right? And I would imagine that just the timing, just the sheer timing of going down there, right? Because we're so used to living in the Northern Hemisphere and doing things based off of what the Northern Hemisphere has given us, that now you have to transition and you have to wait. Imagine you now have to wait on the sun to be spiraling downwards, where we're so used to doing things during the summertime, the springtime, and stuff like that, spring going into summer, because the sun is making its way towards us, forgetting that those guys, the sun is going away from them. So now you have to be on the opposite schedule if you're trying to get the better weathers and everything else like that. I don't know, just something that came across my mind. What you got, Dirt Bond? Why is there no pics of sailing up to something as tall as Everest? Because that's not what's down there. Okay, wait. As tall as Everest? I don't know. There are accounts of finding nice warm land after you get past the snowy stuff. But how far past the snowy stuff? And that's something else I want to show y'all, right? How far past the snowy stuff? How far past the snowy stuff? So right now, I want to show you guys what it is I'm looking at. If you have one, I'd highly recommend you take a look at it with me. And if you don't have one, that's fine. But I'm going to be looking at the Gleason's map right now. So we are going to go, let's remove that. Let's stop screen. I'm going to show you guys. So I got a digitized Gleason's map. I'm not going to be sitting here doing that number. Hell no, that's for the birds. That is for the birds. We are going to look at window, boom, right there. All right, so this is the Gleason's map, and it's upside down. And we put it right side up. Okay. All right, so you guys see it, right? I am going to zoom in and tell you what I was looking at and why I was looking at it. So here we are, South America. There we are, North America, but specifically South America. So take a good look at South America. Take a look at it. Tell me what you see, but tell me what you don't see. Or if you have any questions, drop them in now. But what is it that you do not see in this picture? What don't you see? Well, let me get that out the way. Dirt Farms. 7 to 8 kilometers tall. Yeah. Is the death zone? People died that high up. Yeah. Died that high up without being in a pressurized container. Yeah. Who was that guy that went up in a balloon in the early 1930s? Oh, that's Augustus Picard. Augustus Picard. So you see that? Okay, Brazil is wider. Okay. But I want you guys to take a look at the southern part of South America, right? So we're talking Cape, I think this is the Cape of, what Cape is that? Cape Fear, Cape Cod, Cape of Good Hope, something. I think it's the Cape of Good Hope, if I'm not mistaken. Take a look. Cape Horn, excuse me, Cape of Good Hope. So Cape Horn, right? Terra del Fuego. Take a look and tell me what you see and tell me what you don't see. No tip. Okay. All right. No tip. No tip. Exactly. So there's usually an Antarctic peninsula. Let me show you. All right. So there's that, but I'm going to show y'all something else. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring up ArcGIS. ArcGIS Earth. Coming up, coming up. So ArcGIS kind of functions a little bit like Google, right? And you have to download it, and then it's off on your side of your screen, and then you click on it, and then it loads up the globe, and then everything else. So we're going to go to ArcGIS here in a second. I'm going to show y'all. Skip. Okay. Let me share with you guys the ArcGIS screen. Okay, so here we are. Same continent. Of course, recent times. This isn't from 1892 or nothing. But take a look at what we have here. Look at that. We've got this. We've got this. We've got all of this right here. Huge tip. Not just the tip, but it's a whole tip. Right? We've got all that. But it doesn't appear on Gleason's map. Let me show you what's on Gleason's map instead. So we got that. And let me show you. It's on Gleason's map. All right, we're back to ArcGIS again. So you see that. All right, I'm going to take that off. But I'm going to show you Gleason's map. Okay. There it is. So in Gleason's map, instead of their Megadeth 777. All right. Hey, man, it's good to see you. Yeah. Yeah, there's a huge tip, South America. But could have been touching the edge of the ice. Yes, but I don't know if I buy that there, Half Warrior. I don't know. I don't know. And it throws me off because I'm going to show you something else that's totally messing with you. Oh, Lord have mercy. There it is. So if you look right here, there's nothing. There's nothing. Just this big flat, and then it gets perforated like here, like they removed it. Like they removed it. Now, if, I mentioned this to a few people, and if it was something that, there was a cataclysm, something shifted in the earth, and then things got moved around, water came up, water came down in certain places, but water came up in other places, and exposed some land and disappeared some lands, then I get it. I get it. The only problem is that you have a Drake's Passage over here. You have a Drake's Passage. And Drake's Passage includes that big old tip, right? It includes the Antarctic Peninsula. Drake's Passage does. Well, Drake's Passage isn't seen here. It's not seen on this joint right here, but it is seen on the ArcGIS. Utubo, Italian PC, what's called Beyond the Ice Wall. Yeah, I've seen that. Terra Infinitum, I've seen that. I've seen that, Dirk. I have seen that. But now I'm wondering why. And here's the thing, this is supposed to be scientifically correct. Scientifically and practically correct, right? It is. But this missing, this is a huge piece to this puzzle. Why is it missing? So to me, it's not so correct. I hate to remove the wind from everybody's sails, but so far, this is some of the conclusion that I'm drawing so far. Not saying that this is a bad map, no, but it's not actually totally correct because, okay, we can look at it a couple of ways. We don't know if that's truly there in real life or not, right? Or it could just be not totally correct. It could just not be totally correct. Now, I'm saying all that because I want to show you guys this too. Don't want to keep this hidden from y'all. No, I don't. That. Okay, let me get this up. I'm going to take this out. All right, so this is Urbano Monte's map downloaded, right? Get rid of this one here. And now I'm assuming you guys can see it. Okay, you guys don't see it. Let's remove this. Let's present. I'm going to share with you guys Urbano Monte's map. Boom. Here it is. And you guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop in the description box after this where you can find these downloadable images, because you don't only get a downloadable image, but you could also zoom in, right? And you could see these maps and all their crazy features zoomed in wise, and nothing's really blurry. Like you see how much definition you get? Isn't that awesome? Okay, so let's zoom out. We've got Africa right here. And look at the beauty of this map. Now, what we once thought was ice wall, right? We thought all this was ice wall. And to some degree, yes, I still think that's ice wall, but, big old but, check this out. Okay? Check this out. This right here is South America, right? This is South America. Now, I don't want you guys getting confused and thinking this is the end of South America. No. That's the Strait of Magellan, right? Which a lot of the explorers back in the day, they would go through the Straits of Magellan if they wanted to go from the east side of South America to the west side, because Drake's Passage was so effing dangerous. It was mad dangerous. And the crazy thing is, check this out. Drake's Passage was discovered in 1578, 1577, 1578 time frame. This map was created by a 45-year-old man in 1587. 1587 that was discovered. This big werewolf-looking dude with breasts. This is just wild. Anyway, so that was discovered. So I'm thinking that this map what this does is this just adds the Urbano Monte map, right? To some degree, it adds the rest of Antarctica, what we're used to seeing, right? The bottom part, but he just condensed it and just did this with it. Because we have Terra del Fuego right here, but then I'm going to be jumping back and forth, y'all, so just bear with me. I'm going to close that out. We have Terra del Fuego, not too far from the coast. We left the form. We have Terra del Fuego right there. And I'm going to bring the other map up once more. It's just crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. Okay. Boom. Okay. There it is right there. Okay. We'll go back down here. So if you look right there, there goes the Straits of Magellan, right? Less wind, less craziness to have to deal with. Right here would be Drake's Passage. Right here. Big old peninsula would come up and nearly touch the tip of Antarctica, but it doesn't. It doesn't. Where the hell is it? Patagonia. Everything else. Terra del Fuego should be around here. Should be. Right? We've got Cape Horn right there. Falklands. We just don't have the Antarctic Peninsula right here. Where the F did it go? Where's it at? We have, I think it's Victoria Island or something like that, Victoria Land, right? South of New Zealand, right here. Pick that up. New Zealand right here. South Victoria Peninsula. We have that, which at first I was thinking that maybe he got it confused or something got messed up and they put this here instead, but no, that's still there. That is still there. But we're totally missing this right here. So now it calls into question the rest of Urbano Monte's map and what the hell is it that we're looking at? Now, who is it? Mr. Von Derp. I think it was you that mentioned humans. Yeah, so Dirk von Fons, I think it was you that mentioned heat or like warm land beyond the ice. Something like that. Let's go into the chat real quick and then I'll continue with a little bit of my rant. Let's go into the chat. What we got? Okay. I agree, Shannon. That map is mad cool. YouTube Italian PC. That's right. So if you guys want to check out YouTube Italian PNC, it's called Terra Infinitum, right? Where it shows you the lands beyond the ice. That's pretty interesting. I got a couple of those books myself. They're real small, but they're mad expensive. Are there any records or videos of someone sailing south of South America and going towards Antarctica? They have those. As a matter of fact, they have those videos on YouTube. They do have them of people heading towards the wall and getting hemmed up by police. They have those. Cape Horn, Chile, is from Antarctica. It's around 600 miles. So that Cape Horn to the Antarctic Peninsula, right? That big old tip, that's around 600, almost 700 miles. I did that measurement yesterday. Or that's the claim that it's that far, but I ran the ruler there. Yep. There's a vid that popped years ago about the About 5-ish people tried. Yep, that's right. That's right. So you know what I'm talking about. Stop by worship. Yep, that's right. They're like some Swedes or something like that. Yeah, it is. I love this map. I love that map, but now with that anomaly missing, I'm a little bit annoyed. I'm not gonna lie to you, Shannon Emerson. I won't lie to you. That makes sense at Bronx. It is protected area, so people. That's right. That's right. It's so protected. It's wild. It's wild. It's how far south they go before stopping. I forgot what parallel that was, but I'll do the research on that here in a little bit. They always said that the tips of each of these continents is crazy, dangerous waters, which also yes. So it is dangerous. The not the straits, but rather Drake's Passage is dangerous. And just looking at how it works, it looks like it's like a funnel almost, right? So I can imagine. So you got to think those jet streams on the outside of the Antarctic ring, or not the outside, but within the barrier, the ice barrier, there are jet streams. Remember that, right? So those jet streams come into play when it comes into dealing with things like navigation and everything else, not just airplanes going in a circle, right? So you have to think that any ship that's out there runs the risk of either, just dealing with crazy waters or just running aground in general, right? Running aground, running into some ice or running into land some kind of way and just messing their whole selves up. I know definitely with the ships that had sails back in the day, that's something that they would look into big time, right? If they had too much wind, hell, or if they had wind that was going back and forth messing with their ship, that's a dangerous voyage. So then you would opt to take things like the Straits of Magellan as opposed to Drake's Passage. Even though it's wide open, that's a dangerous place to have to navigate your ship. You know what I'm saying? That's a dangerous, dangerous place. Let's see. See what we got. What we got? All right, not too far from the coast they left. They don't see anything. They're guarding the southern border of Chile. That strongly makes you wonder just how close Antarctica really is to Chile. But Chile's on the eastern side, the southeastern coast of South America. So, do you think that South America is improperly positioned, as opposed to, in comparison to what the Antarctic shelf is? Like it should be oriented in a different way? Regarding the southern border, close to Chile. Clearly, man, if there isn't any other land, we're technically in jail. Yeah, because we can't leave or aren't allowed to. Might be something they don't want or something the other things don't want. Well, that's a good point. No, that's a very valid point. And at the end of the day, that's how we feel, right? We totally think that they're hiding a lot of good information from us, and they're keeping a lot of truths from us. Might be still, don't let humans off the land that they know. That's right. Like humans only get to live and know of the land on the globe. Other than that, they are jailed. Yes. Yep. Warm land past what we know. Yes. Yes. But there's something I want to show you too, Dirk Franz. And Megadeth continues with, we definitely kept here on purpose, Dirk Franz. There are controllers who know what's beyond Antarctica or even life beyond it. Yep. Keep us here. We don't understand the reality of the beyond. We don't. We don't. And honestly, Megadeth, I really don't think we truly understand where the hell it is we are either. In 1946, the 19 modified V2 rocket was launched 110 miles above the Earth and showed the curvature. NASA was founded in, yeah, there was, and so 1458 was founded in 58, yes. So 1946 and 1958 is a big difference. So William Tecumseh Sherman, what's your point? And that's funny that you're saying that they saw curvature. Nobody's seen curvature. You can't see any curvature. Nobody's found any curvature. 60th parallel. Okay, that's right. I've heard that. Yes, I've heard the 60th parallel. I have heard that. 60th is where you can't go beneath that. Right. That's the claim measurement. Just a shame we can't go sail and test the distance between Cape Horn and Antarctica on our own. I have a feeling it's closer than we're led to believe. Yep. Hap Warrior says, check out the stuff about Kiribati. Also massive money and ships using that place. Yes. Speaking of Kiribati, let me show you guys something. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something. I'm gonna go ahead and let me show you guys where Kiribati should be. So this is what I've come across. And I'm gonna show to you guys. Share this thing. Share screen. I'll show this to screen. There we go. Windows. Boom. Share. Okay. So here we are. There we are, right? I'm going to rotate this joker right here. We're talking about Kiribati. Right here. Should be right here. Right? So it's south of Hawaii. We got Tahiti. You got the Cook Islands right there. Sandwich Islands. Honolulu should be around here. Kiribati should be. All right. Let's take a look at the Kiribati Islands. Now, the crazy thing is that Kiribati, even though it's considered one place, Kiribati actually comprises of like 32 to like 38 islands that belong to the island nation of Kiribati. That's the crazy thing. Let's we'll go to Arches. We'll go to Arches and we'll take a look at that. But yeah, it's right around there. And let's see where it's at on Arches. Arches Earth. Coming right up. I also want to thank you guys for joining us tonight, for True Earth Tuesday. I love spending these moments with you guys. It's always a pleasure. Always, always a pleasure. So, okay. Let me bring you guys to Kiribati. Remove that. This. Share screen. And go Arches. All right, so we're getting Arches once more. Let's look for Kiribati. Kiribati. And what I suggest, guys, is, yeah, so this is the one that looks like a claw, I think. I think this is the one that looks like the claw. Is this the one that looks like, yeah, because you have different, yeah, this is the one that looks like a claw. So this island of Kiribati, oh, let me zoom, there we go. That island of Kiribati right there, that's it. So there go your coordinates right there. You can find them at the bottom of the black screen, right? 1 degree 52, 1 degree 528.432 north by 157 degrees by 2223.58 west. Right? And this is from an altitude of around 40,000 feet. Shrink that. That's Kiribati right there. And it's always good to use something as your reference point. And so what I like to do is once I find where Hawaii is, that's my reference point on how to find Kiribati. But there it is. You have the international date line. And it's like on the globe, the international date line is like, it turns into like a trapezoid looking thing, right? Where in real life, right, Kiribati's right there. You have the Bering Strait right here. Come straight on down, actually straight down. This is why the globe is all jacked up. The globe is all jacked up, party people, all jacked up. There goes your Hawaiian Islands. There goes Hawaii. Right, there goes Hawaii. And then south of that, whoop, Kiribati, the IDL, right? Hawaii, the Tropic of Cancer. Kiribati, is this the equator? Yup, sitting right barely north of the equator. So it might as well just be sitting on the equator. But there it is, Kiribati. And I bet it's hot as hell over there. So there goes the international date line. God bless you. But you see, it's within the international date line. So it's funny how it's on the IDL, the international date line, right? That separates basically it cuts like the Bering Sea in half. Let's actually go there. Sitting there, excuse me, I'm sitting there talking about it, talking all this mess. See this right here? You got the Aleutians, you got Russia right here, and you got America right here. Right? This is like Alaska and shit. Right? There it goes right here. There it goes. Cutting it in half, but this is a globe. So they have to make these crazy ass. Look at this. Look at this. Look at what the IDL does. Isn't that just over the top? Right? I forget what island this is right here. But the Razo Lagoon, what's that? What's this? Yeah. So there goes the IDL. And you see where Kiribati is in respect to where it's like sitting on that crosshair. Kiribati is sitting on a. Why do they mess with it so? Sitting on the crosshairs of the equator as well as the international date line. Don't y'all find that funny? Tropic of Cancer, Hawaii, a point of reference, Hawaii. And then once we get to the equator, Kiribati, sitting there right on the crosshairs. Isn't that crazy? Look at that, the IDL. And this is what they have to do with the IDL because the Earth is quote unquote a globe. They have to turn it into this shape right here. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so let's go to the chat real quick. What we got? As they know, 1946, William Tecumseh Sherman. I still don't understand what it is you're saying. Half warrior, no problem for that. A sonic boom. There's a thing called sonic boom, you know? Yeah, I know. I think we know what a sonic boom is. Yes, that's Mach 1. That's relatively slow, right, compared to what the things that we do have. I think these older maps are more accurate. This was all done before the mass confusion was pushed on us. Von Franz, I agree. Totally agree. To Chile, because Cape Horn is also considered Chile. I didn't know Cape Horn was part of Chile. I figured that was part of Argentina. You do know that we can go to Antarctica, right? They have No, we can't all go to Antarctica, William Tecumseh Sherman. We all can't go. People have made the attempt. They have given it the old Harvard try to go to Antarctica, and they've lost their opportunity to. They've been told they couldn't go. Like people have been like, if you watch the show the other day, but between Flat Earth Banjo, Taboo Conspiracy 3, and Robert Totsi, right? So these guys actually did the legwork and tried to get the expedition to go, or actually take the cruise to go to Antarctica, but that opportunity was rescinded from them, right? At the very last second, they were told no, they couldn't go. And so they were forking over that money to make that happen. You can watch that. If I can find it, I'll go ahead and I'll put it in the description box after this production. But you just can't go to Antarctica like I could just go to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? It's not how it works. When it comes to Sherman, I'm starting to think that you're trolling a little bit, but I'm on press. Dirk Von Franz says that's the Go Fast Rocket. The video is on YouTube. Yes, that's right. And it stopped suddenly. I remember that. Then the Go Fast was May of 2014. That's right. India invaders show just how large this plane was stuck on. It really is unreal. It's huge. I believe that. Dirk Von Franz. Yes, you can. I've seen the Dirk Von Franz. When did you see the curvature? Please educate us. Dirk Von Franz, I'm going to leave that for you at the bottom. When did you see that curvature? Y'all, I'm sorry that I skipped all of that. And for all you that are joining us, welcome. Especially you, Dirk Von Franz. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you, even though I feel you're kind of trolling. What do you have? Pablo's dog, what's good, brother? Good to see you too. I don't like missing all my people coming in. I like to greet everyone. But Dirk Von Franz, please tell me. The photos and footage, there's no wall. There's no wall because you have to understand how far inland we're in, how far inland we are. And it's not like you could just go up and see the wall from a distance, William Tecumseh Sherman. Will thinks we have seen a curve. I know no, there is no curvature. William, there's no curvature. In many videos of Antarctica, it's a huge ice shelf. And that's right, Megadeth 777 is absolutely right. Oh my God. No, William Tecumseh Sherman, you didn't see you didn't. I'm sorry to say, I know you didn't. William Tecumseh Sherman, man, like you didn't. It's cool though, man. Like I'm not gonna sit there and crap on your parade or nothing like that. But there's no seeing no curvature. We wish you could. That would be nice if you could, right? But we all know that's bunk. Those are lies. You can't see no curvature, unfortunately. You can't. Well, in Google Antarctica wall, tons of photos. Shannon Emerson, she's right. Yeah, bro, yeah, 28 miles is nothing. The other guy says there's no curvature at 23 miles. Felix Baumgartner, exactly. Neil also admits there's no curve at 63 miles up when Virgin Galactic went up. Yeah, there's no curvature there. There's no curvature. There's no curvature. I don't know what else to say. And we're not here just trying to shit on you. Like I said, William Tecumseh, you have to understand, man, we're here looking for the truth. So part of that truth is that there is no curvature. You know, people will find the truth when they're ready. We can't force that on anyone, but you have to do your real research with it. You got to. And that's right. Shannon Emerson said it right on. Google that. You saw the curvature on an image. That's right. So I'm going to show you guys something once I get to it. If I could get to it, I probably can't get to it right now. But yeah, I think I've shown you guys videos of me flying on a Cessna, and even while I'm on the ground, everything is curved. As soon as you get up, I'm flying above Alaska, and everything is curved. Right? Everything is curved. This is a function of the GoPro camera. That the front of that lens is it's a fisheye lens. It's a parabolic lens, right? So it does that, and it's nobody's fault. You're just trying to capture more of the image within that camera. That's all, right? It's not the fault of the people making the stuff, but that's the image that you get. So then it leaves you with the false impression of you thinking that you're seeing a bald earth when that's not at all what it is. Does that make any sense? I hope it does, William. And that's the thing, man. I'm really not trying to shit on your parade or nothing like that. But you ain't gonna find no curve, bro. But you must do that research before you start spouting off. Yes, we're telling you that you did not see a curve, my friend. You didn't. You didn't. You didn't see no curve. Well, man, look, we've gone. There are people that have gone up much higher than you that haven't seen a curve. That know they haven't seen a curve. Fake Professor Dave. Yeah, yeah. So let's see. You used to build model rockets and sent them. Okay, no, okay. You could send. Listen, you could send as many. You could send all the rockets. You could send the rockets, and you could send the rockets. Them girls kicking their legs at Rockefeller Centers. You could send as many rockets as you want into the sky. It doesn't matter. That's not going to change the fact that there ain't no curve. It doesn't matter. That's what we're trying to tell you. We're trying to figure all this out. But one of the things we have deduced is that at those heights, you will not find a curve. We've deduced that already, and we can actually prove these things. We're not going off of hearsay. You know what I'm saying? We can show and we can prove. And here's another thing: is based off of the curve calculator and based off of the quote unquote curvature of the earth, you're not experiencing any curvature while you're on the ground because we run those experiments as well. William, you are claiming to see curvatures at heights that not even mainstream science admits that there is a curve. So you're saying you can see a curve where NASA can't. Exactly. And we all know NASA's full of crap, right? And then William says, I don't watch Professor Dave. Got you. Sure you do. Dirk von Franz doesn't agree. Apparently, you know more than NASA, Virgin Galactic, and all the mainstream science. Exactly. Exactly. So when you stand on the train tracks, Will, as they go away from you, does that mean that they touch that? That's perfect. So we can apply all this to where we live as well. We don't have to go up into the sky. We could be on the ground and make these normal applications, and we could show you that what you're seeing is not in fact what you think you're seeing, right? And you have to get out of this mindset of the earth is a curve because you've seen it so much in movies, cartoons, video games, pictures, images, a globe around your house, that's what's burned into your mind. That's what you kind of want to see when that's not at all what it is. Here's a challenge then. Buy a rocket powerful enough to get high. Okay. So what kind of camera are we going to use, William Tecumseh Sherman? What kind of camera are we going to use? And the Go Fast rocket has already gone up there and done that for us. The Go Fast rocket has done that for us. And you know what they do show? They show a curve. They show straight and level. But then you know what else they show? They show concavity. They show all three. They show all three. So this isn't like somebody's trying to hide. At least they weren't trying to hide anything from us, but they showed everything. Dirk right on the money. Nano CVD says, I worked on an oil tank transport company, and the captains of the vessel never adjusted any navigation by the earth curvature exactly because they don't have to. From the Middle East to the USA and back, zero curvature, zero exactly. And I could second that by saying, Nano, but that I spent time on the water as well, being on a surface ship and seeing from one ship to another ship at vast distances, right? With they call them big eyes, right? Whether it was on the bridge on the ship or with a set of binoculars, big eyes. I could see ships at a distance, and you could see the whole ship. Depending on what the atmosphere wanted to give you, you could see the entire ship. This isn't fiction. Williams comes and says, Nano, boats and planes use nav balls and compasses designed for no. William Tecumseh, that's not at all true. That's false. That's false and that's incorrect and that's wrong. I'll get into that here in a second. Cheers, Nano CVD. Great to see you again. Megadeth 77 says, greetings from Megadeth 777 to Nano CVD. Airplanes fly over the earth. It's that simple. They don't account for curvature or rotation. They don't. And pilots will tell you that they don't. Dirk von Franz will go find a channel called Will Dan Dimensions. I'm gonna check that out too. Derp Dan Dimensions. Look at that. They do no, they don't. They okay. So William Tecumseh, they don't. And every pilot will tell you that they do not account for the curvature of the Earth. You got to think, William Tecumseh. If they were accounting for curvature of the Earth, that means that they would have to drop, right? If they fly super fast, that means they have to drop super fast. So unless you're flying in a dirigible, right? You're flying at rates of anywhere from a minimum of like 170 miles an hour to a max, or I'm not even going to get in the maximums because I've never flown in a jet like that before. I've never flown in a fighter jet, right? But you have your commercial airlines, normally like 500 knots, right? 500 knots, like 750 knots that these guys are traveling. That means that they have to account for curvature per mile, right? And that means that they have to fall the entire time. And so you know what it feels like when you're on the airplane and you're sleeping. Hell, you know what it feels like when you're when somebody's driving you in a car, and then you're within striking distance from your destination that you've been to like a million times. As soon as you feel a certain turn, a certain shift in movement, what happens? Your eyes open. The same thing happens. Listen, I don't know what it is, but it's an effect of when you fly, right? You feel it, right? You feel it. Your the plane goes down, and depending on the rate of speed at which the plane goes down, your body kind of comes up. A couple of things happen. Your body comes up, plane goes down, your insides come up, your asshole slams shut. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get into that here. Actually, you ever played a video game like Dark Souls or anything like that? I love the Dark Souls series. Me, I'm a big fan of Dark Souls. Dark Souls, Demon Souls, I love them, right? Love those games. So, you have vast amount of land, right? Any video game, it could be Mario Brothers. You know what it feels like when you fall off of a cliff in a video game, not even in real life. When you fall off of a cliff in a video game, one of the things that happen, your insides come up and your asshole slams shut, and you just get this feeling. That would be you in an airplane the entire time it's falling. Think about that. But this has actually happened. This isn't virtual. You know what I'm saying? This is the feeling that you're going to get. You're going to be tense, your asshole's going to slam shut, and you're going to be adhering to the curvature that is the Earth, 8 inches per mile squared. But the problem is that you don't have to, because that's all fiction, William Tecumseh. That's what we're trying to tell you, bro. That's what we're trying to tell you. But we're not trying to tell you that because we're trying to shit on you, man. It's all out of love. You know what I'm saying? Cheers, Mega. Go Fast Rocket from Arizona during the time of the launch. That's right. The moon was over Australia. That's right. And actually, if you guys look at the Flat Earth app, you'll see that on that launch day, on the 14th of, I think it's the 14th or the 17th of May, 2014, you'll see the phase that the moon was in. You could see that moon in a distance in that Go Fast rocket. So you have to check out the Flat Earth app. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that in the description as well after this production. The Flat Earth app tells you what you're going to have in the sky, moon-wise, lunar-wise. Just go to Lake Pontchartrain Bridge and see just how much that bridge starts to go over. No, William Tecumseh. William, man. We're here to bring you to the truth, bro. Now that curve that you see, no. It doesn't curve. That's a visual. That what you're seeing is you're losing it, but you're compressing. Your vision is starting to compress the further down you go. It's not actually curving, because you have to think that means that's a physical curve, William. Right? Hold on. Let's finish with what's being said here. You believe they account for curvature, but the airplanes do not account for curvature. That's right. Or rotation. That's right. It's not fiction. It's been used. No, that's the thing, William Tecumseh's term. It hasn't been used at all. They don't adhere to that at all. Every bridge builder will tell you that they do not adhere to curvature. They just don't. A rocket could go up and hit the firmament. It won't go any further. Right? Psalms 19:1. That's right. So 71 Blackbird has its nose down at 1 hour. Thing can't do that without snapping in the head. That's right. That's right. If it was going that fast at that speed and the sheer size of the SR-71, it's long as hell. It's mad long. So yeah, it would break in half just trying to achieve that maneuver going at that speed. Nothing could do that. You do know that the Bible wasn't written by God, right? Okay, so it was inspired by God, written by man. Okay, so William Tecumseh Sherman, you do know that your science books are written by man, right? You believe that military jets going at their rate of speed can account for the curvature in the dip their nose and go as fast as they go? No, they're going straight and level. Exactly, they are going straight and level. Urbano Fawn says, well, hold on, Derp, hold on, Derp. Maybe he's not trolling, and if he is, shame on you for trolling, shame on you. But maybe this is a point for where you just need to learn. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to shit on you or nothing like that, but we're pointing you in the direction of where you can get this information, right? Maybe some of these guys want you to go away, but this is kind of how I started out, right? I was hard-headed. I didn't believe it at all. But at the end of the day, I realized there must be, this guy is not that stupid. This woman is not that dumb to be telling me this. Let me see what the hell they're talking about. Why would they say something like that? So even with somebody like Kyrie Irving, when he came out and he was like, yeah, Earth's flat. I was like, instead of people sitting there to investigate what he was saying, he's not stupid. He's not lazy, right? The guy works hard and he's not dumb. And he's got a lot of money. Why would he come out of his face to say something like that, right? So when people say things that are totally bizarre or stuff that you're not totally used to, it's time for you then to sit back, ask why they asked that question. And if it bothers you that much, you need to go investigate. You have to. Be honest with yourself and find the info. But cognitive dissonance won't let you. Yeah, you're still new to the information. At Half Warrior from Megadeth 777, there is a reason that Werner von Braun put that on his tombstone. Absolutely. And so we need to look at the reason as why these folks do these things. William Tecumseh, Dirt Union Dixie has better disses. Oh, Lord. In 1,000 miles, there should be 125 miles of curvature. If you could line up 120 balloons. Mr. Jones, hey, what's happening, bro? It's good to see you, man. Mr. Jones is in the house. Finally. Hey, haven't seen you all day. All right. 20 balloons, 50 miles apart. That's right. That's right. 50 miles, 20 balloons. Site. Next one for the entire 1,000 miles. That would prove that would. That would. Yeah, because I tell you what, Mr. Jones, you got a point there. And I'm going to highlight this. And hold on. We go ahead. I'm going to hold on. All right. So what I did was I snapshotted that because that's a very good point, Mr. Jones. That's a very good point. I like that. I think that's a very good project right there. Dervon Franz says, "Yep, Dark Souls finished the first one, so Dark Souls is awesome." You just said that you don't know what it is in your own explanation. No. So when I say I don't know, it's like I've never been to space, William Tecumseh. But based on all the evidence on the Earth and based off of the things that I've done both in the sky and in the sea, I can tell you that from seeing everything from a flight perspective, that it's flat. From what the pilots that I worked with, they said the same exact thing. They do not, and these are military pilots that I work with, right? So one thing you have to understand about working in the military and performing things like flights, performing things like navigation on the water, right? As a sailor, I could tell you from firsthand experience as a sailor, because I don't fly airplanes, but I ride on boats, surface ships, submarines. You have to document everything that takes place, right? While you're in the bridge, All your maneuvers are documented. These are legal, these are legal documents, right? Anybody in the military could tell you when you're on watch and you log anything, it then becomes a legal document. Curvature would be part of that document. Curvature is nowhere, anywhere found in there. Everything is flat and level. If you see something disappearing because of curvature, yeah, you won't. You'll see stuff disappear. You'll see stuff disappear because you lose it based off of your perspective, but then you can recall it. You can get these things right back, right? When you're flying and you have to, if you're, and here's the thing is you have your black box, you have these things, you have all the maneuvers that are performed when you're flying your aircraft. If you have to adhere to curvature, you're going to crash your plane. When there's no curvature, your plane's going to crash. They're going to see that, hey, he thought the earth was a ball. So he was just adhering to the curvature of the earth as per what document? There is no document that tells any pilot to adhere to the curvature of the earth because you're going to be crashing an aircraft that's worth millions of dollars. And you don't want to do that. And then you have to think about the potential casualties down below. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to take into account curvature because think of all the lives you're about to waste. William Tecumseh. That's crazy. Oh, I'm not dissing you. I'm telling you. I've been honest. Yeah, you have to be honest with yourself first, and you need to look into these things, Will. The entire plane ride, decent plane ride, not a curving ball. Nobody can account for rotation at all. Nobody can. That's the truth. That is the truth. That is the truth. So anyway, let's see what Shannon has to say. The big problem is mainstream science has been so corrupted by money and fake prestige. The truth doesn't even matter anymore. They have to cling to the fakery to keep control. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. But you have to see also, Shannon, that these guys have lied so much that now they're kind of trying to sell you that it is, in fact, not a ball, and maybe it is flat. So what they're doing is they're moving the goalpost back to where it needs to be, right? In the correct place. And they're dropping small hints that the earth might not be a globe at all. They're saying things like, yeah, well, the earth was flat a billion years ago. They're saying things like, you do have oceans in space. You have oceans in space. You know what they're referring to? They're referring to the water above the firmament, right? They're saying small things like that, hinting to truths that we're starting to discover or rather rediscover. And they're not going to flat out come out and say, well, the truth is that we lied to you the whole time. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to do that. And comes a Sherman for a reason. He made the idiots ridiculous ideas. So go to permission. Okay. All of those official documents from government, military, and NASA says to do a test of calculations on a flat stationary plane. Yes, that's right. Assuming a flat and stationary plane, because because here's the thing: is when you fly these crafts, you play, you play the way you practice. You practice the way you play, right? For the most part. If you're going to assume something, you better assume that the earth is flat. You're not going to assume that the earth is spinning and curved, because if you do, you're going to lose whatever object it is you're trying to perform these maneuvers with. It's not going to work. Y'all know my way. Saw that. Yes, it's literally called sea level, Mr. Jones, not a sea curve. That's right. Water is the biggest flat earth proof. It is. They say globe, snow globe. A black will now. Dude's a troll. The globe bottle holds no water, literally. It doesn't. That's the absolute truth, and the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. Oh, man. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, all these are truths, and all of them totally make sense. Let's see. I had something. Oh, if you guys hadn't subscribed to him, I don't know if you guys have heard of John Levy. John Levy has one of the channels that discuss the earth before we knew where it is we lived, right? the Earth during a period of a potential mud flood, right? Earth being rediscovered, places with buildings on like with windows underneath the first floor, with windows in the basement, places covered in mud, i.e., Australia, New York, Utah, you name it, Oklahoma, Kansas City, all these different places that have potentially experienced moments of a mud flood. There was one, he made a video where I know you guys are used to things like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but he shows a video that shows there wasn't only one Leaning Tower of Pisa, but not a bunch of Leaning Towers of Pisa, but you had a bunch of buildings that were just leaning, like old buildings that were leaning. A shift, a massive shift. Conspiracy theorists like the Apollo detectives prove NASA lies, think the Earth is round. So, William Tecumseh, we know that at least I watch NASA Lies, or those guys that do Apollo detectives and NASA shills. I watch those guys. They have some good stuff, and they bring up some really relevant points when it comes to the faking of the moon landing. However, I add to a lot of their comments and say, if you guys were flat earthers, you guys would see a much bigger picture than what you see right now. I say that to them. I get a lot of crap on that channel because of what I say. Hey, man, I'm here for the smoke. You know what I'm saying? I welcome it, and I welcome it with open arms. It's cool. But they're looking at it from a globular space perspective. I think if they saw it from a flat perspective, it would open up more dimensions to their research. Does that make any sense, William? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they're looking at it and they're super limited in their scope, because the globe offers but so much information. The globe totally limits how you can think and how you see this planet. Totally limits it. It makes no sense. They hate indoctrination. They hate American lies. They hate all the things you hate. They still think the earth is round. You're right. So you have to remember, William Tecumseh Sherman, that it's not just an American lie when folks say that the earth is a globe. It is a worldwide lie. It is a worldwide belief for the most part, right? Barring us, that the world is a globe. It isn't just me saying it, or this chat group saying that this, or just the flat earthers, right, that say otherwise. But the majority of people still believe that the earth is a globe. And mainstream media still believes the earth is a globe. And here's one thing you need to remember, William, is that if mainstream media has the attention of the people, everything that mainstream media says for the most part is what goes. That's what America or the world will follow. There was a time where they used to say that you didn't need your appendix. There was a time where they used to say that NutraSweet was okay to drink. There was also a time where they used to say that, man, this is mainstream media and mainstream science, mind you, where they used to say that you didn't need your pinky toe. You don't need your things. You'll be fine with just one kidney. They used to say these things, and this was part of mainstream science. So you have to remember that just because the media says something doesn't at all mean it's the truth. And in fact, nowadays, people are starting to shun the mainstream media. And they're starting to see them for who they are. They're propagandists, right? They fertilize your mind with things like movies, cartoons, clothing, style, figures of note, Hollywood. So they fertilize your mind with that, and then they present to you something to where it will be easier for you to ingest because your mind is already trained and ready for that nonsense and information. And that's right, Megadeths, 777. The earth takes shape like a seal under clay. That sure sounds like a flat earth with an upturned edge, exactly. And upturn is the same. The upturned edge is the same way that Auguste Piccard saw it in that August. Funny because his name is Auguste Piccard, But in that August 1931, I think it was, issue of Popular Science, 1931, 1932. Absolutely, right on time. So let me get rid of Arc just right there. That's me. That's me with my serial killers. I'm wearing the serial killers today. I'm not wearing my normal black rimmed glasses. These are Navy issue free glasses. Actually, all my glasses have been free Navy issue. And so, hey, I take it, whatever. It's free. So, $3.99. I'm all about it. Either how. So we discussed that. And yes, so if you guys have an opportunity, check out those channels like the John Levy's and stuff like that, because even though they don't totally discuss things like flat earth, they give you more of an understanding as to where it is that we thought we lived. The actual story may be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? And John Levy's channel offers that. John Levy, there's Bright Insights, right? Bright Insights with Jimmy Corsetti. He has a phenomenal channel. If you haven't seen Bright Insight, check him out. Jimmy Corsetti has a channel to where he discusses just different things on the earth, different anomalies that may have taken place, different anomalies in the earth, on the earth, specifically in northwestern Africa, right, where Mauritania is. So a lot of that, potentially where Atlantis was, and then he brings a lot of evidence to the table. So there's a lot of information with Jimmy Corsetti's channel, Bright Insights. Check that out as well. Flat Out Truth, you already know what it is. Aloha from Florida. I don't know if I discussed him, but he's a channel that a lot of you guys definitely need to check out. He talks about the true and level earth. You may have also seen him in the mechanical realm. He's got a really good channel. He's got really good material that he covers. Him, Aloha from Florida. Another one is Vika Drazif. Vika, Vikka. Never heard of that name before, but Vika Drazif is the creator of the mechanical realm. So check him out as well. He's got some very good information. He's got his channel. So look up Vika Drazif. Feed Your Mind TV. Feed Your Mind 2 TV. It's got some awesome stuff. Dirk Von Franz, peace, brother. It's good to see you, man. It's good for you to come through tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you for holding it down. William, I wonder where you're at. And half a warrior. I know, man. I know. But William, hopefully you're still with us, family. I'd hate to see you go down like that, but hopefully you're still with us. We've got a lot of good info out there, and we've got a lot of good people covering the true earth, as well as biblical cosmology, as well as what this earth once was at some period. You know, Ghost of Judah Tribe, once again, man. I give that man much respect. He got me here, but at the same time, he has an awesome channel. He discusses things like NFL football, the Chicago Bears, and stuff like that. If you don't want to pay that no mind, you don't have to. But he also does biblical cosmology, and he does the true and level earth, and he also holds Flat Earth Friday. If you don't know, please subscribe to his channel, The Ghost of Judah Tribe. Go ahead, I'm gonna put that in. The Ghost of Judah Tribe. Right? Subscribe to his channel. He's got some really good information, very good insights, right? And amazing how the Bible says the earth is round. So round doesn't offer a dimension, William, to come to, right? Round, pizzas are round, coins are round, records are round, frisbees are round. But one thing they all share is that they're flat. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly, half warrior. Circular, but not a ball. So these things could be round and these things could be circular. That doesn't denote and mean that they become then a ball. You know what I'm saying, William? So yes, the roundness of the earth, sure, it could be round, but it's also flat. Bible says a circle, yeah, circle of the earth. Bible doesn't say a globe, the globe of the earth, or the ball of the earth. He never does. He never says that. But I did show you guys where they're now starting to incorporate, it's in the new Bible, where they're starting to say that the earth is a ball or a hemisphere. You know what I'm saying? They're starting to say that. Genesis does not. No, William. No, it doesn't. It doesn't say it's a globe. No. You need to read Genesis again. Make sure you read it. I'll tell you what, William, all these guys in here are Genesis pros. I can promise you that. Everybody in here knows Genesis, especially the early part of Genesis back and forth. So they'll tell you. They will tell you. They'll break it down for you. Yep. And Shannon Emerson, right on the money. Right on the money. A lot of different translations. Yep. But everybody in there could tell you that it is not a ball. Not at all. Not a ball, not at all. Right? And Genesis will tell you that. Yep. Genesis. Yep. You guys know. Apollo 8 is a Genesis Pro. Who's But it's funny that those guys never refer to the firmament. And if they were to refer to the firmament, they would call it space. But then when you talk, now you have to understand the firmament is something of substance, right? They say exactly, I think Isaiah mentions how it's like hard as hell, right? It's hard as hell and it's rounded out, right? The firmament. So that's the firmament. And so Apollo 8 doesn't mention the waters above the firmament, right? So you have to remember that the firmament is one thing, but then you have to understand the purpose behind the firmament being there, right? To keep water from coming in. And God basically essentially created a bubble, separating water at the top from water at the bottom. That's right. Sun and moon and stars are fixed within the firmament, kind of like pieces of fruit inside of Jello. They're fixed within the firmament. And guys, you know what I find funny? And I was talking with one of the guys in Flat Earth Banjo's channel. But what I find funny is how you don't get thunderstorms. So let's imagine the position of the sun during the time of the year from a northern hemisphere for people that live within the northern hemisphere. So we live where we live in the North American continent for the most part, right? And during the winter time, December into February, and some of the fall, some of the later fall going into the winter. So the end of or the beginning of October into December, right? One of the things December into March. One of the things we don't experience really, thunderstorms. We don't get thunderstorms. You notice that? So now I'm wondering if it could be something that has to do with the heat. Now we're told how thunderstorms and lightning storms are produced. I get it. I'm not saying that, right? But they're not common during our winter and later fall seasons. They're not common. We don't get them at all. We hardly ever get them. I'm not going to sit here and say you don't get them ever, but what I'm going to say, you hardly. It's rare. It's rare. It's rare you see it's rare that you see or get a thunderstorm during the winter or later fall seasons. You know what I'm saying? You're going to wind up as a thunderstorm as a product of summertime, right? Late summer, early fall. You'll get thunderstorms and everything else. And you'll get the echoes of the thunderstorm from the firmament, right? Isn't that just bizarre and crazy? I think so. Jones, a dome around the Earth would be described as the atmosphere, which is round. What is round? Now, William, the atmosphere around the Earth is round. Dictionaries, mega. So, William, we're going to tell you to make sure you do your due diligence and do your research. You got to do your research. Like, We're not trying to crap on you and call you foolish or nothing like that. Not all of us at least, but you totally have to look at the things that we looked at and why we are telling you what we're telling you, right? I don't think you're lost totally if you're not trolling us, but I think you can learn and you can see for yourself what it is that we see and why the earth is true and why it's not a ball like we were all taught. You're not, listen, William, we're not, you're not telling us anything that we don't already know, right? You're not showing us something totally new or revolutionary. You're really not, right? We know everything you know, we know, and then some. I could promise you that. And whatever I don't know, I guarantee you there are people within this chat right now that know a lot of things that I don't know. And then flip it on the other side that there may be things that I know that some of the guys in here might not know. But we could rest assuredly tell you that everything that you know as far as this globe, we already know. We've been down that path already. Firmament is the curve of the sky, especially if you imagine it as a solid surface. Solid surface. You can describe the sky at night as a firmament shining with stars. No, it's not. It's not a thing of poetry. Um, we're told exactly what the firmament is. It's a physical object. It's not anything based off of poetry. Uh-uh. It's a physical object. Those stars, maybe they might not be physical, like at the touch, but they are within the firmament as well, right? According to those who understand the scripture exactly to be told as it is to us. Those missiles were designed to explode, though. They purposely exploded. What missiles were designed to explode? William, you talking about Operation Fishbowl? Yes, half warrior. Okay, let me go up to what Megadeth's 777 said. Yes, half warrior and Operation Fishbowl is part of the Operation Dominant. The operation meaning of the Lord Fishbowl of the Lord. Yes, aka the firmament. Okay. Yep. Um, designed to explode. Sure. Designed to explode on impact, you mean? Impact with the firmament? Is that what you're talking about? The Bible talks about how the stars are fixed in the firmament. Hmm. Yep. Trying to test and show how bombs work in space. No. No, William. No. Space isn't what you think, bro. Space isn't what you think. Mm-mm. No. All those images and stuff that you're looking at, all those pictures and stuff, all that CGI, they readily admit this. This isn't like it's fiction, right? They admit that all those pictures, all those visuals that you see with space and planets doing all this, diamonds on planets, planets that have farts on them, it smells like crap. That's all visualization. That's all creative visualization to present to you, right? They're presenting all this fiction to you, but they admit it. They readily admit, oh, we drew all that up. That's not real. That's not. They're not hiding that from you. But the problem is, William, is that all of us, not all of us, a good bulk of us believe that what NASA is showing as far as those images are concerned is real. Look at that, 777 says. The stars look exactly like energy, frequency, vibration being shown physically transmitted through water. Cymatics is the physical representation of energy. That is what the stars are with the waters above. I think that's funny. That's true. Yes, I understand that phenomena. But who's been to the beach at night? The beach, right? And when I say the beach, I'm talking about saltwater beach, not freshwater beach. So who's been to the beach at night and has run their hand inside the salt water and agitated what was in there? What is it that you see? What do you see? Or who's been on a ship at night and then if you get on the side of the ship and it's pitch black outside and the ship is steaming through the water, and you're agitating the water, what do you see? You guys go ahead, drop a guess in there. Let me know what you guess. If you don't know, that's fine. It's okay to say that you don't know. No, William, your telescope is not using CGI. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about all those other images that they're showing you of like Venus doing this and, Venus doing this, Jupiter doing that. Those are CGI. They readily tell you this is CGI. Book of Enoch goes to the path of the luminaries above the earth, wandering stars are above disobeyed. Yep, that's right. So if you do that, if you agitate salt water, right, you get light. You get light. If you just agitate salt water with your hands at night, seawater specifically, seawater, if you agitate enough of it, if you do it enough, you'll start to gen up water, or you'll start to gen up light. The same thing is if you're on a ship pitch black outside, the ship is steaming. As it cuts through the water and agitates the water, you create a bioluminescence type thing. It starts to brighten the water. The water, it's weird, it's crazy, it's amazing though. It's amazing. So this may also represent what's going on within the firmament, right? Or or above the firmament also, some of that water may have, I don't know, this is just me spitballing, may have those points of light being vibrated somehow, or those points of light being agitated to create those points of light that we see at night, every night. So you listen to everything that the Bible says. There's a lot that the Bible says that we can see for ourselves. And I'll tell you, William, that a lot of people went back to reading the scriptures based on seeing what the earth truly is. Like that's not fiction. You're not going to find anybody that goes to the earth being a ball, after seeing the earth being true, level, and plain. That's a fact. You can ask anyone in here. They'll tell you. William. Ripples in the tide. No, not just ripples, but it'll produce light. Mr. Jones, yes. Oh, so William, only 4% of the people believe that the moon landing. William, Tecumseh, people are starting, that number is actually increasing. So 4% of the people are starting to believe that the moon landing is actual bullshit. Yeah, that's small. The same thing with flat earthers. People coming into the true and level earth, that number is increasing as well. They're starting to see this earth for what it really is. Mr. Jones, the sun and the moon both reflect off the water all the way across the observer. Only possible on a flat earth. Exactly. Vibrations in the water. No. So Megadeth, what you're going to see is, like I said, you're going to see light. It's going to gen up some light. Matthew 7:7, asking you will receive, seeking ye shall find. That's right. And you will find and knock, and the door will be opened unto you. For everyone who asks will receive. And ask, and anyone who seeks will find. That's right. Right on time. Right on time. Megadeth 777 says, yes. Mr. Chapter 72 to 82 of Enoch, all are about the luminaries. I'm going to check that out tonight. Interesting. Thank you for sharing about that seawater. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. If you guys ever have the opportunity to get on like a Carnival cruise or something like that, make sure you scope it out at night. They may have lights just to make sure that if anybody were to go overboard, that they can immediately rescue them. But if you could go out at night and see what I was talking about, see the seawater hitting the side of the ship, you'll see exactly what it is I'm saying. You'll see that phenomenon. I'm sure there's a name for it. Isn't everything the Bible says, right? Our current air is full of water. That is true. I'm too scared of the ocean to know the answer, Vlad. Oh, my bad, half warrior. So yeah, the ocean is just that. It'll produce light. You get light from it. Seriously beliefs are most popular with MAGA. People, what it's funny because people will say the shot was a conspiracy belief, but we were right. People are saying that the moon being a BS and the Apollo landings is a MAGA belief, but people that said that the moon landing was BS, they were right. 9/11 didn't happen the way they said it was. It did. They were right. They were right. And if people are wrong, people will admit. People, especially something like that, people will admit when they're wrong. But when you're right and you can provide evidence, then you're right. You just what can you do? Since I can make chattel, since that's what the Bible allows. w- I wouldn't say that. There are a lot of things that the Bible says to not do that we do anyway, right? I'm wearing cotton and I'm wearing like rayon. Bible says you better not be mismatching your clothes. I mismatch my clothes all the time, homie. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I totally adhere to everything the Bible says because I totally don't. Shannon Emerson says the Bible has just been another book that's been around for a long time. Different translations, but very old book, like the Quran and tons of other old books, both religious and not. That's right. It's a drone. Water is a leveling tool. Earth is 70%. Exactly. Exactly. Water is the best leveling tool. Mr. Jones talking about the sun reflecting along the oceans. Flat Out Truth Terry did a video showing that how water only reflects that way over a flat surface. He froze water in the shape of a globe. Yes, he did. And he colored that water too, if I remember. And he colored it like purple or black or something like that. I remember that. You also know that flat earthers who spend $20,000 on the device to prove the earth is flat. No, 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 no. So I remember that device. That was that device that measured the speed of rotation, right? So you have to remember, William, that I know what you're talking about, and that was Bill. I forgot his name, but he ran Globe buses. God rest his soul. Uh, he just passed. He ran Globe busters. He was an Air Force pilot. He just passed. God rest his soul. Good dude. He ran that test, and what they ended up discovering is that the speed of rotation isn't based on the Earth, but it's based on the sky and those luminaries that we see, right? And the stars in the sky. That speed isn't based off of the Earth's rotation, but the sky's rotation, and the sky does rotate. And so, what they did to test that, they climbed in elevation, so they got different speeds based off of how high they were. So they went to different elevations to run this test as well. So that's a fact, Jim. But that's a fact, Will. Drown in the Gulf of Mexico. Ooh, I'm sorry. Well, at least you're here with us today. Half warrior. Uh, as above, so below. As below, so above. On earth, as it is in heaven. That's right. That's right. The Kabbalion. This principle embodies the truth. That's right. The law of correspondence. It's always a correspondence between the laws and the phenomena of the various planes and being of life. Absolutely. I think trying to understand everything about this, we need to grasp that first, right? We need to make sure we have a good grasp on the law of correspondence. Yes, he colored the water. I'm glad that you've seen. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I saw the video. It was an amazing video. You're right. It was a very good video. The Bible says not to eat pork either, but I just don't want to give up bacon. Oh God, Shannon Emerson. Yeah, it does. And so I don't meat personally. I don't eat pork. I also don't eat pork for other reasons. Um, but yeah, yeah, it does. And it also says not to eat shellfish. And it also says not to eat if you live out in the country and you hunt venison, you would know that that's a source of food. And so there are people out there sinning all the time. They're Christians or they read the Bible, but they hunt venison. They're not supposed to. And you will. You're from Louisiana. I know there are people that aren't supposed to eat lizards, but they eat alligator. It's what's around, man. Everybody breaking the Bible rules. Now, politics has nothing to do with the earth being flat. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. It don't. At the end of the day, it don't. I heard that too. Bob, B-O-B, yeah. Ether. He who has eyes to see, let him see. That's right. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. You just can't. Every politician promotes the space lie. Even Trump, he created Space Force. Obama mocks us through. Though I don't have time for a meeting with the Flat Earth Society. They all know the truth. They do. They do. Bill Nye, especially, he knows the truth. He knows the truth. Those guys do. But you have to think. You have to think. If these guys express what the truth is, they lose all credibility and they will become pariahs to society. People will probably hunt them down and beat their ass, cuss them out, spit at them, right? And they'll lose all credibility. They will. I don't eat shellfish or pork either. Yeah, Megadeth 777. I hear you on the pork part, but the shellfish, bro, I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. I have a hard time not eating shellfish. B.O.B. He put all the, yeah, that's right, he did. And speaking of flat earth and music, we have David J. Karen. He just came out with another jam. Check him out. I'll put him in the description box as well after this. You have conspiracy music guru, right? Conspiracy music guru. He does all those productions like, don't believe in the Globe and don't believe in fantasy. I love his songs. He's the British or he's the Australian guy that does the country songs and puts the spins on them. I like his stuff. Vivek, he probably said 9/11 was an inside job, though America lied about, yeah, many things. And 9/11 was easily, you could tell that 9/11 something was going on there because Building 7 went down, right? But Building 7 wasn't hit by anything. Got fire on it. It got fire on it. That was it. But you got to understand how long it takes for people to arrange for something to get demolished, right? A structure to get demolished takes months and months of planning. It takes time. It's not like you just load the place up with dynamite and just blow it up. No, because you want it to fall within itself. Just don't want it blowing up and then toppling over if you could do that. So even there, 9/11 and those things, that was totally an inside job. Cracks in the gap glass cell. Yeah. That went down through the brain debris. No, it William, you're a troll. I know you're a troll. Nothing, things just don't burn and fall down. I know you're a troll. But it's good to have you anyway, troll. But NASA and SpaceX is the new age Tower of Babel. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is. It is. I agree. It is. We need to find our way around it. Poker Star Wars launch now. Poker Star Wars. Oh wow. This sounds cheaply, especially being as tall as it was. Yeah. Yeah. That's wild. I did not know that. Well, family, before we roll on up out of here, I want to music guru. I want to leave you guys with a little bit of a treat, right? I want to play one of Mr. Guru's songs, which I think is phenomenal. If you haven't subbed to Conspiracy Music Guru, please go ahead, give him that attention. And yes, I absolutely thank you all. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my romper room roll call, give you guys the shout outs and the many blessings. I don't want to miss not a soul, not a person. You guys have been amazing tonight. You guys have been awesome. So, Ark Ash, many blessings and thank you for coming. Shannon Emerson, it's always, always, always a pleasure. Jimmy Satterfield, definitely. Thank you, brother. Thank you for showing up. Half Warrior, as I said, many prayers, many thoughts, much love and respect going in your direction. Lots of thoughts, intention, and vibes headed for you. You guys make sure that you pray for Half Warrior. Think about him. Send those positive vibes and love and intention his way for healing, love, and prosperity. Truth shall set you free. You disappeared on me, brother. I had you here, Mr. Houston, King of Houston, but you left. Half Warrior, who else? I do not want to miss you. I'm going down. the roll call. Megadeth 777, it's always, always, always a pleasure. Nano CBD, always good to have you here. Dirk Von Franz, even though he's gone, I know he's here in our hearts today, tonight. He was here, he did his time. But thank you for coming. I know we had more than that. We definitely had more than that. So we had a whole bunch of you guys come towards the end. Megadeth 777. Of course, you're always here. It's always good to have it's always good to have my spine over here. You guys are like my backbone. William Tecumseh Sherman, of course, you being a troll, I'm gonna give you love anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you some love anyway. William Tecumseh Sherman. So the truth shall set you free. Phone went out, so you're here. Good, good, good. Truth. I missed out on you. But it's good to have you, and thank you, brother. Thank you for coming. Pablo's dog. Pablo's dog. I only saw you once, but either way, thank you for coming. Sharon Emerson, of course, and everyone else that was in the house and outside the house, I thank you for coming. Total thanks. And hey, hopefully I see you guys back, not here, but over in Chicago, right? 11 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be having Flat Earth Friday with the Ghost of Judah tribe. And he's going to be doing his thing. I'm probably going to show up and, flap my gums a little bit and do my thing. But join us again, where we will have a lot more for you guys to enjoy, a lot more flat earthedness to discuss with us, and we can enjoy this stuff together. Who we got? Now you guys are saying something down here. You're not a troll? Okay. Then you've got a lot of research to do, my brother. You've got a lot of research to do. Either way, family, I really appreciate you guys. Before you roll up out of here, please make sure you hit the like, sub if you haven't subbed. Don't ghost ride on me. Make sure you sub to me. I would love to make sure. Mr. Jones, yes, Mr. Jones, I haven't forgotten you at all. No, sir. But Mr. Jones, thank you for being in the house, coming up in here and blessing us all with your goodness. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave y'all with this, and I want y'all to enjoy it. However, in the meantime, I wish you guys nothing but the best. Nothing but the best. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this for y'all. But if you guys haven't subscribed to him, please check him out. He's got some awesome, awesome content. Here he is right here. Conspiracy Music Guru. There we go.
Well, let me tell you something about the space station. It's only really there in your imagination. That thing ain't real. It's science fiction. It's there to feed your space addiction. Those astronauts are not in space. It's written all over their stupid face. See, I can spot a lie from 100 miles, and I can spot a fraud from the way they smile. Didn't you learn nothing from the fake moon mission? That puppet show from President Nixon. Well, listen up, they're doing it again, it seems. Check out the harnesses and green screens. I used to work a lot in film and TV. I know a bit about the television trickery to create the illusion that you're somewhere that you're not. A green screen is what you're gonna use a lot. Or if you wear a harness and attach it to the ceiling, the illusion that you're floating is what they'll be believing. All you're watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. Astronauts, they're actors, of course, and yeah, they all get paid. Look at me, Ma, I'm floating in space. No, you're not, you're lying to the human race. So let me tell you something about a zero-G plane. This thing flies up and then down again. Some weird stuff happens if you're on the inside. You start to float as the plane takes a dive. Simply add an actor that's trained to deceive, and you got yourself an astronaut, or so you believe. Plane flies up and that's everyone's cue. Then action, we got some deceiving to do. Plane flies down and then everyone knows to start the ISS live show. Floating in a plane with zero-G, but you only see astronauts on your TV. All you're watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. Astronauts, they're actors, of course, and yeah, they all get paid. Look at me, Ma, I'm floating in space. No, you're not, you're lying to the human race. Well, another thing I noticed when I looked at these fools, they're filming spacewalks in buoyancy pools. NASA's gonna tell you that it's just for training to practice for space station maintaining. Well, I thought about that, but if that's the case, then why the hell can I see bubbles in space? Take a hard look at the next spacewalk. Tell me if you can see bubbles at all. Open your eyes, man, I'll bet you a quarter. Those spacewalks are filmed underwater. I can see space bubbles everywhere. Hey, NASA, how the hell did those get there? All you're watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. Astronauts, they're actors, of course, and yeah, they all get paid. Look at me, Ma, I'm floating in space. No, you're not, you're lying to the human race. So when you see an astronaut aboard the ISS, take another look at your TV set. They're pretty good at faking, so you gotta look close. Pay some attention to the way the actor floats. If you ask me, that ain't zero gravity, but Hollywood effects that I see on my TV. Take a good look at the whole damn thing. These lying bastards are just puppets on a string. It's all a big science fiction puppet show. The game's up, assholes, cause we all know. Thanks for the show, NASA. It's been a blast. Now take your fake station and shove it up your... All you're watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. Astronauts, they're actors, of course, and yeah, they all get paid. Look at me, Ma, I'm floating in space. No, you're not, you're lying to the whole human race. All you're watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. Astronauts, they're just actors, of course, and yeah, they all get paid. Look at me, Ma, I'm floating in space. No, you're not, you're lying to the whole human race, man. All you're watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. Astronauts, they're actors, of course, and yeah, they all get paid. Look at me, Ma, I'm floating in space. No, you're not, you're lying to the whole human race. All you're watching is a puppet show. Yeah, the whole world's a stage. Astronauts, they're just actors, of course, and yeah, they all get paid. Look at me, Ma.
All right. Well, family, you guys are the remnants that are in the house. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this live here tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. I wish you guys nothing but the best health, wealth, love, joy, prosperity, and most of all, wisdom. And with that, I love you. I'm out. See you guys Flat Earth Friday. See you guys Truer Tuesday. Peace.